And I don't know if they get paid to say this stuff or not, but they might. So in the New Scientist on the 10th of June this year, Leah Crane wrote an article on this from the Astronomy and Astrophysics. And the title of her article was "Einstein Was Right About How Extremely Massive Objects Fall in Space." And it was either her or somebody else, maybe the editor, put it in here because they made the statement, "The motion of stars has helped prove Einstein correct again." I actually wrote back to them, as I do when I see this, and said, you can't prove a theory true. I'm sure they're talking about the general theory of relativity. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't prove a theory true, and yet they keep saying it again, again, and again. Or once again, Einstein's general relativity has stood the test of time in gravity. You know, it was an experiment of the obvious, right? You can go read it. It was an experiment of the obvious. I didn't see much, you know, why it would be there, because it didn't really do that much. But at least Miss Crane talked about Galileo and the experiment about, right, two different masses and so forth. So that was beneficial. So, you know, but they make it sound that, you know, not only did Mr. Einstein find or understand, was the first person to understand gravity, it's almost like, well, he created it too. I mean, it's going out of, it's out of hand. So here's another one. It's in Sci-Fi Wire, 12th of June, Elizabeth Rain, and her title is "Gargantuan Objects in Space Fall Just Like Einstein Predicted They Would." You know, even pulsars. Right? Well, I mean, that's good, but Galileo's and Newton's form of gravity would give the same result. Right? That's mine. Right? Gravity is the law of the universe, right? But not Einstein's. You know, it's just Newtonian gravity. I mean, Einstein's gravity has nothing to do with reality. And here's another one for Daily Mail, 11th of June. You know, the comment was, "Einstein was right. Theory of general relativity still passes test." Right? It doesn't matter how many tests you do and how many tests seem to accommodate your theory. I mean, all it needs, right, falsifiability, I mean, the science, all it needs is, you know, one place where it doesn't work and the theory fails, right? So I think they keep pushing this Einstein. You know, I have nothing against Mr. Einstein, but he was wrong more than he was right. And you know, even if you have a million places where it seems to work, you just need one to show it fails, and it fails. Truthfully, I think it's out there, but nobody wants to do it. So I'll kind of leave with that, but I'll let you think with this, right? This is from Buddha that I found a little saying here. It says, "Just as a goldsmith would test his gold by burning, cutting, and robbing it, rubbing it, not robbing it, rubbing it, so you must examine my words and accept them, not merely out of reverence." Right? And I think what happened here is that science has been pressing Einstein's work so much that people have just been almost brainwashed, you know, with Einstein, and they use his work as a base, and it fails because it's not correct in the first place, right? People need to think, and mathematics won't always get you there. I know this video is a little bumpy and whatnot. All of the ones I do are bumpy. But math, you know, like I said before, math is only going to get you so far. I mean, and that's the problem with the general theory, and that's the problem with string theory and others, right? They're just mathematical monstrosities they put together and take shortcuts and come up with particles that nobody knows what they are, and fields and all this other kinds of stuff. And there's nothing there. There's no reality to it whatsoever, right? So you have to think. You have to think for yourself, you know, at least the difference between science and politics and religion and cult is that you're allowed to ask questions in science. Yet so many people don't. They just blindly accept what somebody tells them and never think about it their whole life. Right? You have free speech. Well, we'll talk about that later, but people don't like my free speech. So, you have the right to question. As a scientist, you have the right to question, anything, anyone's work, anybody's work is in reach. I mean, it has to be scientific. I mean, you can't just, throw a bunch of epithets at people or whatnot. But you have the right to question anybody's theories or ideas. That's the way it works. I mean, if that happens not to work today, I mean, I found that out very quickly. Yeah, they don't like new ideas, but it's eventually going to happen, right? So you have a right to question. You have a right to question, and you have a right to think for yourself. And that's what you need to do, because that's what Buddha said and others, and I say it too. So, space-time is gone. We'll just have to live with that and go on. Thank you.